They got out with what they could grab going right out the door. New tonight here on the Night Team, the stories of escape from the burning apartment building near downtown Louisville. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. Tonight, dozens of people living in a new Lou apartment complex are left without a permanent home, their belongings destroyed in this morning fire. The fire was first visible just after 6 this morning at the apartment complex called 310 at New Lou. It was so large, take a look. The smoke stretching across the Louisville skyline as drivers came in from southern Indiana on their morning commutes. Now, from the Sky 11 drone, you can see how nearly 100 firefighters worked to put out the large flames from both the ground and up above. This is at Hancock and Jefferson Streets. The fire burned through much of the 4th floor rooftop, exposing the top units. WHAS 11 Night Team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Addie Hill are talking with some of the people who lived in this building.
Just hours after fire, smoke, and blaze took over the 310 at New Lou apartment complex, dozens of firefighters remain on scene. Firefighters towered above the building on ladder trucks pouring water. The water spilling out of this apartment like a waterfall. The flames lit up the neighborhood. Residents like Andrew Adler are just grateful to be alive.
I gathered up my cat, I gathered up my passport, I threw on some clothes, I scooted out the door, went downstairs, came outside, looked up, and what am I looking at? I'm looking at flames. The
flames destroyed the 9-year-old apartment building that opened in 2015. Firefighters say no one was hurt as the interior collapsed.
Units were pancaking into the bottom of the garage where my car happens to be. Clearly, this was not a false alarm.
37 units were occupied in the 4-story building.
I have resources. I'm not destitute. I'm not going to be on the street. I have friends. I have colleagues who care.
Most displaced residents are being assisted by the Red Cross. Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill says fire crews were first called around 3 in the morning for a burning smell. Crews were then called back just after 6 where fire was coming out of the building.
Unfortunately, when you're dealing with this newer, lightweight truss construction like this, once it gets going a little bit, it's going to take the whole structure very, very quickly.
The cause of the fire is still being investigated. O'Neill compared the apartment structure to buildings built over 50 years ago.
My house in Old Louisville could probably burn for quite a while. Get firefighters there, put it out, and we could still remodel it.
Most of the residents housed in the building were med students. Their personal belongings, furniture, and textbooks now ruined.
My only clothes is what I'm wearing right now. So totally lost everything.
This U of L med student and her husband moved into the apartments just 2 months ago.
We actually don't know yet. We're gonna say, I don't know. At this moment, my head is spinning. I don't know what to do.
And take a look. This Louisville fire truck remains on scene. This is actually the fire truck that was out here when we were out here earlier today. It looks like fire crews are still monitoring closely since the interior of this apartment building has already collapsed. And Louisville fire officials say they expect more parts of the building to collapse. Reporting live in New Lou, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
Taylor, thank you. Our hearts are certainly with those residents who lost everything. And with 100 Louisville firefighters on the scene, the chief says at one point, some of them were actually inside the building fighting the fire. He tells us that they quickly noticed a major change in the flames that had them pulling the firefighters out of the apartment building.
We had fire crews mostly fighting fire on the 4th floor, getting up into the attic. We had fire crews that were on the roof, cutting holes in the roof to allow some of the heat and smoke that's in that attic to vent out. So we had most of the fighting was going on there. For us outside at the command post, we can see that fire is starting to show that it's on those floors in between. So that's when we made the decision, we've got to get everybody out of there because we can't have it collapse. They're thinking all the fire's above them, but it's also below them.
The outside walls of the apartment complex are still standing. Jefferson Street reopened earlier this afternoon. We also learned tonight that the fire displaced 6 University of Louisville students, and a university spokesperson tells us they're now working with them to find temporary or long-term housing. U of L has also provided students with food vouchers from Kroger and vouchers for emergency supplies.